Hi, my name is Waltresa Collins, and this is my story. Going through the fire, but coming out as pure gold. Life as a single mother.
What? I give up. I wrote it. Huh?
You gotta push hard.
Hi, my name is Waltresa Collins, and this is my story. Going through the fire, but coming out as pure gold. Life as a single mother.
Did you ever imagine yourself becoming a mother?
Heavens no.
No.
I never thought that I would be anybody's mother.
Mhm.
Nah.
Mhm.
It's
So when it came down to your first pregnancy, how was it? How was the processing for you?
oh Lord. Well, first of all, I ended up taking like 3 pregnancies, I want to say, because I was just like, nope, this first one ain't it. Nope. So like, I remember being at the hairdresser, getting my hair done. I took one there, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave here and I'm gonna buy like 2 or 3 more pregnancy tests.
Mhm.
And sure enough, they were positive.
Right. Right. Okay. And what was your biggest fear as for actually becoming a mother during your pregnancy?
How would I provide?
Mhm.
Would I be a good mother? Um, like just what type of mother I would be, because I didn't have a positive or anybody to look up to as to how to be a mother, becoming a mother. So it was definitely scary.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe just knowing that your whole life is about to change,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And it's starting like at that moment, like the way you eat, the way you think, that kind of stuff like that, because you're not only just thinking for yourself now, you're thinking for two,
yeah, most
So,
definitely.
right. So, I mean, what was your reaction when you found out that you was pregnant?
I was shocked. I was definitely shocked. I was just like, no, this can't be. I was in a daze. I remember Leslie, when I took the test and I showed it to her. Leslie was like, "Where you going?" I
Hmm.
said, "Wherever my car take me, that's where I'm going." And I walked out, and Leslie came out. She said, come back here. Sit right there until you get your mind together." So I was definitely just shocked. So, and I'm still shocked.
Hmm.
'Cause, I mean, even 11 years later,
Hmm.
I still look at him like, dang, you made me a mother.
Right. So, what were some of the things that you had to change right off back when you found out that you were pregnant?
I had to stop working out because I had lost about 80 pounds,
Hmm.
and even though the doctors say you can do it, but I was so sick with him to where I had to change that. Um, I just had to get myself mentally prepared. Like, this is what it is. I have another human growing inside of me that's going to be here in 9 months. So that's basically it. Just, I didn't really change my eating. I still ate what I could eat,
Hmm.
but that joker was so picky. Like, for like 2 weeks straight, I think I was eating Frito pies every day, and then I was eating big boxes of pizza every day. So it was just really nothing. Just basically trying to mentally prepare myself.
Hmm.
That's it. All right, so this is the family children uh, service department. This is where I would come to visit Shalom, and this is where the social worker was um, here on Kirkman. Um, so this is the place to where I had to come monthly to fight for my child back. It wasn't easy, but we were definitely able. And I had an awesome worker, Miss Lizetta West. She was amazing. And so this is just, some people look at it as a bad thing, but it kind of made me the mother I am. And they actually worked very well with me, making sure that I got back on my feet. I did everything I was supposed to do and just helped me get my baby back. So now you're going to meet Miss Lizetta West.
I am Lizetta Pano. I am a foster care worker for the Department of Children and Family Services in Lake Charles, and I've been doing this for 15 years.
15 years, wow. So actually getting into this field, like how was the process for you and why did you choose to deal with that for, kids in the family services?
I've always liked, I'm a helper. I love to serve. So me being a part of helping families stay united and, I'm going to say like fixing the areas that need to be fixed to keep them together has just been always something I wanted to do.
Always something to do, right. So as for your first interaction with Waltresa, how was that for you?
Okay. Let me tell that story. Yeah. So my first interaction was my daughter, Waltresa was in the hospital. My daughter worked at the hospital. And my daughter calls me on the phone frantic, like, Mom, I'm trying to get in touch with the social worker. And I was like, Brandy, I can't give you any information. And she was like, Mom, this lady's up here crying. Just give me her worker name. So I said, okay, what's her name? She gave me the lady name. I go, wow, wait, hold on. I look and I go, that's just to myself. This is my case. So I take the information, I go up there and visit her. She's in the hospital. And so my first interaction was that she had been in the hospital to get stabilized on medication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as for like her coming into the motherhood, she had some issues like at the beginning of it. So let's talk about the process to where you came in as for her losing custody of Shalom for that period of time.
Okay. So I don't do the removal. So as I said, I met her like the next day. So when we got the call, we got a call stating that it was a new mom. She had dropped the baby. She was on mental illness and she went to the hospital. So when I met her, we talked about that. That was the first time I realized that if you have a mental illness that you really cannot take your medication while you're pregnant. And that was the whole issue. She had not been on her medicine for about 6 months because she could not take it at that time. So it affected how she was feeling. Her emotions were all over the place. Let's just remember, she's a first time mom. So when you get the call that you say she dropped the baby, you're thinking, oh my God, but that wasn't even the case when you talk to her. So as far as that, we developed a relationship, and I knew that she cared about her child because she actually did not wait for the agency to reach out to her. She had the worker at the hospital, which just happened to be my daughter, call the agency to see who her worker was so she could get the things going. So I knew from that point on, she's crying, she's caring, she wanted her baby. So that's where I come in at. We're going to help her get him.
Right. So, I mean, of course, you said there is a certain amount of time that you give each person that you take in, right? So let's talk about that time period and how long it took for her to actually get custody back of her son.
Okay, so when we take a child, we work on we give a 12-month calendar. Like we give you 12 months. If we get to the 9th month, we start actually staffing to see where you are if we're going to change the goal. The first goal is always reunification. Mm-hmm. Then we move to adoption, a more permanent goal. So, and then we get to the 12th month. If you haven't done nothing, then we find a permanent place for your child to go with a permanent family. Miss Waltresa actually got her child back, I want to say within the 5-month period, which is normally out of character. But as I say, the things in her case plan consisted of her being on her medicine, which she was, learning how to be a parent, job. She's always kept a job, house clean, whatever. She got that down. We just needed her to get stable on her medicine. And that's what she did. And so she got her child back. Mm-hmm. In half the time.
And in half the time, right? So, I mean, like, for her, in order for her to be able to get custody of her son again, what was some of the growth that you've seen in her within that process of you first, knowing that she has lost her child until now is she has him back?
Okay, so what I seen in her was very impressive. Like I keep saying, she was a first-time mom. This lady, every visit, wherever the visit was, she bought a diaper bag with clothes, formula. We don't necessarily ask you to do that, but it gives a plus to you. So she did that. She made herself available for the caretakers. She reached out. She connected with them. She would go to church on a Sunday. I'm nowhere around. Normally our visits are all supervised by the agency until we get to a point where we do unsupervised visits with the parent. She bonded with these caregivers, so they having visits where I ain't nowhere around. So that was a plus. And not to say, I think they lived in Jennings. So she would drive from Lake Charles to Jennings to be with her child. She made herself available for doctor appointments. She knew everything about this baby. The only thing that she didn't do was take him home at the end of the visits. So that is growth in itself. She connected and made a better relationship with her family members. During that time, she learned that she did have support, whereas sometimes she felt that she did not. She started looking in a different direction for that support. Instead of feeling like they're coming at me, she started seeing as they're coming for me, with me. They're on this journey with me. That was a plus. She maintained her job. She never had a drug issue. So, I mean, she just did those things that will let you know that when I sent this baby home, he's going to be okay, because she was awesome with him. She knew how to change him, fed him. I mean, I don't know if she had a baby somewhere. We didn't know. I'm just joking, but she developed skills that made you know. And to this day, every time we still have a relationship. Those kids are fine. Spoiled, but fine.
Mm-hmm. So in the process of anyone wanting to actually get their child back, what does the process consist of?
Okay. So first we meet with the parents, we assess, we do a full assessment, we see what the needs are. Like I said, her needs was more of maintaining, because she had already obtained a house. She had already had a job. She had everything in that house for that baby when we went there. Nice stuff, Eddie Bauer stuff, name brand stuff. She had it. Clothes, she had it. So we meet and we assess to see what it is. And we come to the table, what we call a family team meeting, and we generate a case plan. The parents have their own attorneys. The child has their own attorney. So we do have a court process. When we generate this case plan, we take it to court. We put it on paper. We say, hey, this is what Miss Waltresa is going to do to get her child back. Simple stuff like I said, maintaining houses. One of her biggest obstacles was support. Not because she didn't have it, but because she didn't know how to utilize her support. And her support was not always, because of things that had happened in the past, wasn't always a positive thing. So we had to get them on board with, okay, like they would say, we reached out to Waltresa, but she's not answering the phone. Okay, well, when she pushed back, I need you to push forward so that she can know that y'all still there. And once she realizes that you ain't going nowhere, then she'll stop parting. She's moving because she don't feel like she have anybody. So we develop that. We get that on paper. Once we get to the court, we go to court every 3 months to give an update. She was like a very successful story. So her attorneys loved her. Everybody loved her in court because she did what she was supposed to do. And once we do that, then we go back to the court. We start doing unsupervised visits, because up until that point, all the visits are supervised until we know, or I know, the worker knows that, hey, we at a point where if I leave this baby with her by herself, she'll be okay. So keep in mind, she's stable on meds now, so I ain't got no problem. She's laughing, making me laugh, joking, just being a bubbly person. She knows when she's attention seeking and you stop it right then and there, she stops it. You just don't entertain it, right? Mm-hmm. So we move forward. Once we do that, move to unsupervised visits, then we place the child in the house and we give custody. We go back to court and give her custody and close her case. And she did all that in 5 months.
Man, so anybody that's actually going in through those steps right now, are there any encouraging words that you might have for them?
I always use her without saying her name. I'll say, hey, you can do it. It is possible. But most of our parents, a lot of them have drug issues. And we know that I can tell you in 12 months, but if you've been doing that for 13 years, it's kind of harder for you. But my biggest phrase to my people that's in my caseload is that the only difference is I'm on this side of the desk today. In any given term, I could be on that side. So I would want somebody to work with me, for me, and not against me. So I'm not going to lie to you, for you, or on you. I'm going to tell the course the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. So I always encourage them and say it can be done. I know it for a fact. I had a mom, got her kid back. Miss Lizetta, no. I said, I can give you her number if you wanted to. She came and did a panel for us. We had a parent panel where we needed somebody to talk positive about the agency and their steps. Not so much just their work, or she gloated on me though. But I'm just saying, she talked about it can be done. And another thing is your worker can make or break you. So if you have a worker that's pushing with you, you can make it. So me personally, I always encourage everybody. They don't always work, but I
Go.
Hello, my name is Luanna Grice, and I have been on Waltresa Collins for over 16 years, apparently. And I met this young lady at Saints Memorial, and she wasn't very nice. I'm so sorry to say that, but she was very isolated. She didn't want to be bothered with anybody. And so I just had to trigger her mind that, hey, you're going to know me before it's over and you're going to love me before it's over. So you may as well get ready. And so she kind of looked at me and strange and kind of like, okay, who is her? And so she figured like, oh, she ain't playing with me. So we got to know each other and she got to love me and I got to love her. And then there's a story behind our love and we go on and we go on. And today I can actually testify that I know this girl personally now.
All right, so you say you've been knowing Waltresa Collins for over 16 years. And the way that you met that is hilarious. That is hilarious because I know her personally as well. So I understand. But you said that for sure that it was like I'm not gonna say conflict, it was more of like a challenge when you first met her. What actually drew you to her?
Because I saw her sitting in the back of the church, like by herself, and like, kind of mad or maybe an attitude, like, who are you people? I don't want to be around you guys, but I'm here. So, and I was like, okay, what is her problem? And so I actually made myself known to her because that's the type of person I am. You're not just going to sit somewhere and I see you. I'm going to go talk because I'm a talk and I talk to everybody. So I guess she thought I was crazy, bothering her out of her comfort zone. She was in a comfort zone, but I broke that comfort zone with her.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And when you go back, that's actually before she became a mother.
Yes.
So like in between and then actually her mentioning that, announcing that she's pregnant, what difference did you see from the point of not being pregnant to now actually being able to say that she's a mom now?
Oh my God. I see there's a difference being a mom from the time she got pregnant that she really didn't know how she was going to deal with it. All she knew was she's pregnant, she's having a baby, and I had to actually instruct her that it was going to be okay. And so she kind of like, I don't know, I have no support. And I told her I would be there throughout her pregnancy, no matter what the consequences, we're going to walk through it together. And I think as a mother, and she has become this great, great mom. I'm so godly proud of her determination, what it took, it pushed. I mean, even though she went through some trials and tribulations, what made her the mother today, and she's a strong mother. And so when I look at her, I'm like, God, I'm so godly proud of this young lady because a lot of people wouldn't have made it through that. She was persistent that I'm going to be a mother to my children. And that's the mother that she is today. And so a single mother raising her boys, it's hard right now for a single mother, but Waltresa is a warrior. And guess what? She's doing a great job. And all I can say, Lord, thank you for her being the mother that she is of today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a little bit about her background, because of course,
Okay.
we had a conversation about it as well too. There was a chance to where she had a battle when she
Right.
first became part of the motherhood. Can you go into details about that with me?
Well, yeah, because the fact is, I wasn't understanding a lot that she went through. She began to tell me about the foster care and all the things that she went through. And so because of her baby, she was going through a struggle and she didn't know what to do. And so she ended up her baby getting in custody. And so that was the hardest thing for her. I mean, it was like a mental thing, but through the mental cycle, that made her even stronger, that you're going to get your baby back. We're going to go through every process, everything that we need. So all you got to do is hang in there with me. I'm going to go every step of the way. I promise I won't leave you. And we're going to have this baby, and you're going to have your child, and you're going to be the best mother. And you know what? She did everything that was asked of her. We went on visits together. We went to the lady's house. She called. She never gave up checking on her child. And so even though she went through to get her child back, she got him back because she was determined and persistent. And I know she went through a lot through her childhood, because a lot of things bring that on. And so I had to go back to where she came from and understand where she was going. And so because that process, we had to bring her out of that to take her where she needed to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, like, as for the relationship that you guys have, did that affect you in any kind of way?
No, it didn't affect me at all. I mean, because no matter what she was going to go through, I was going to be there for her. So I think we bond together in a relationship. Like, I mean, she just loves some Sister Grace, and I just love some Waltresa. I mean, it's like somebody from church. I'm like, I met this kid, and now I'm in love with her. Now I'm going through with her, because there were days when I went through too, because I'm like, Lord, she getting this baby. I don't know what it's going to take, but we getting this child back. And that was what I made sure. I'm an advocate for her. I talked to the people for her. I called them on the phone. Whatever it took, I was there for her, because we going to get your baby back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. So, like, as for a person, like, as for her just being an individual person, what kind of growth did you see, like, from the time where you met her to now?
Yes. From the time I met her, this isolated kid, mean, all of that, and till this beautiful young lady that is so talented. I mean, the drum playing, all this custom stuff that she's doing, brilliant mind. I'm like, this girl is super smart, smarter than she know. And so all the stuff that I see her invented, and God gave her that, it's a gift. And I'm so glad to be a part of her life. She is brilliant as a mother. And so I know her kid's going to be gifted just like her. She's very gifted, if y'all don't know that by now. The boys that she is raising, she's an excellent mother, raising them without a father, but she's doing an excellent job. She protected of her boys. Yes, she protected her kids, and she's always there with them. She's a good mom. And I just thank God that you can do it. You don't always need a man in your life to take care of your children and raise them. Well, Teresa's doing a great job. She works hard. She works faithfully, and she gives the boys their desires of their heart. And I just appreciate her for being a part of my life. And I will always be there with her. I told her, no matter what, you can call me at any time, which she done time and time. I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. Call me, I'm going to get up. I'm going to do what you want me to do, Waltresa. And so I have seen her grow into this young lady that is beautiful. And one day I'm going to get to go to this young lady wedding. I just believe God. Yeah, he's doing a great thing in her. And I wouldn't change it for anything, for being a part of her life.
So, how is life as for being a single mother?
I enjoy it now that I have more experience. It's hard. Sometimes I'm not gonna say it's not hard. I have my moments where I cry, get frustrated. So it definitely have its ups and downs, but I enjoy it more now than I've really ever enjoyed it. from the time that I first became a mom to now, mom of two. So I enjoy it. Like, I look forward to getting off from work and coming home to my boys. If I've had a long day at work, what, baby? I see. So, like, if I had a long day at work, I actually look forward to coming home to spending time with my babies.
All right. And like for the different personalities, like how do you deal with that? I mean, not only that, but they also have the same birthdays, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you deal with the personalities that they bring to the
What, baby?
table?
Yeah, you can go. With Josiah, I think he's trying to figure out his personality and who he is. But even though they have the same birthday, you have both of them are funny, but one is funny and mean, the baby, and then the other one, he's funny and nicer. Hey, how you doing? Nicer than Josiah is. So you have those personalities, but it's not hard to deal with them. Like, I know who my kids are, what triggers them. I think it's actually amazing how the two come together. Regardless of one is mean, one is nice, they still come together and have fun. They know how to deal with each other. I personally laugh sometimes because of just how funny it is. Joe get mad at Shalom for something so simple, then he try to fight him. So it's real easy right now, I guess, because they're young. What, baby? Huh? You want to drive your car? Drive your car.
All right. And how many years apart are they?
8 years, exactly 8 years apart.
8 years. So how is that for you? Like when it come down to like the birthday parties and like how do you work that? The fact that they are so many years apart.
Right now it's easy because you have one whose birthday, birthday being together is real easy right now because Josiah is still young, and you have Shalom who's older. So I really let him choose. Let's see, their first birthday they spent together, we was at altitude. The second birthday, his grandparents and them took them to Chuck E. Cheese, and so we kind of celebrated like that. And then, what, baby? No, stay in your car. And then the second, their most recent birthday, which was last year, we did. We had a party at the fellowship. I let Shalom choose his theme, and Josiah, we had a theme. So right now it's easy. I'm sure it's going to be more difficult as Shalom gets older because of the age group, and I just deal with it when that time comes. But right now, it's easy.
Yeah. So I mean, like when it comes down to me time, like how does that work out for you?
Oh Lord, what, baby? No, stay in your car. When it comes to me time, I don't get much me time. I think I've had the most me time in about the past 3 years. I want to say about 3 years because I've God placed mom and pop in my life to where they are take the boys for a few hours just to let me get some sleep. And if I do me time is when they're down to sleep and I do my arts and crafts. Like, that's my me time. That's me settling down. Um, that's my safe place. That's my place to where I find peace. So sometimes I'll be up all night doing arts and crafts. I probably would have to suffer the next morning because I'd be tired. But that's part of my me time. So yeah. So that's part of my me time. Other than that, I don't really focus on me time. Like, a lot of people say that I need to find me time, but I'm like, hey, when you become a mother, until they graduate and out of school and stuff, you probably won't have me time. So I don't complain about me time. I don't make a big deal, but I'm glad that if I do need that me time, I do have that option. I'd be like, hey, mama, I just need the rest. Pop, can you come get the boys? So God place that in my life to where I can have me time. And they don't mind it. They actually suggest that I have me time. But I don't make no big deal about it. What?
So like, do they have one favorite thing that they like to do like all the time when it comes down to you spending time with the kids?
Pickleball has been the thing lately. Like Josiah is now to where he's like, Mom, I want to go play pickleball. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes we'll go. He don't quite know how to play, but and then with Shalom, he like his game. He like basketball. He like pickleball. I do try to make one-on-one time with both of them. But Shalom will let me know. He'll be like, okay, Mom, it's time for my one-on-one time. Like he'll let me know. He'll be like, hey, what, baby? You want to ride your car? Come on, let's ride your car. So he'll let me know. Shalom be like, hey, Mama, I need my one-on-one time. And that's one thing I always promised him from the time I had Josiah, that I would always make time for him, because it was just me and him for 7 years. And on his 8th birthday, he get a brother. So no matter how tired I am, I still make that one-on-one me time with him. But he'll let me know, and I will try my best to make it happen. And then I also explain to him, like, hey, me and you had your time, now it's me and Josiah's time, even though Josiah don't quite understand it at the moment. But we do get, I try to make that one-on-one time to where I, get Shalom. What, baby? Come on. So to where Shalom still get his me time. Huh? Come on, let's go ride. You got to push your button. Come on. Push your car. Push. There you go. Come on. To where he still get his one-on-one time. And I explain it, to him, to Shalom, that, hey, it's me and Josiah's turn now, and he's okay with that. So, like, who are some of the mothers that's in your life now, that you kind of look up to, or, that, when you need some advice? You have Mama Cassie. She's definitely been there to show me how not to give up on my kids regardless. Regardless, like, no matter what they go through, what they do, that you love them no matter what. Then there's this lady, Sister Yolanda Tellis. She goes to church with us, and I've known her just within 2 years. What, baby? He coming. And just within those 2 years of knowing her, and she don't really know it, but her and I would just have random conversations about her kids, and her kids are grown with kids. And just her talking to me, and not only do they tell me, they show me. These are things that they showed me. Like, hey, no matter what, I'm there. What, baby? You see who? Okay. That they show me, no matter what my kids go through, I'm gonna be there for them. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And then there's this other lady, she moved away. I miss her dearly. I was building a close bond with her. Amanda Dugas. She also tells me, she blesses me all the time, and she has her own testimony, what she goes through with her daughter and her kids, but she still demonstrates the fact that she's not giving up on her kids. Like, they all, even Miss Pat and her husband, Paul Bettis, they also, show me, and I'm also open to advice on how to raise my boys. I find a lot of parents my age, they're not open to how to help build their village. That's my child, that's my child. No, and I'm 38 years old, but I'm still open to how to raise my kids, help on how to deal with different stages of life. So those individuals for sure have helped me to fight through every battle. And that's one thing I tell Shalom. When Shalom go through stuff, I tell him, sometimes he may say, Mama, I'm a bad kid. No, son, you not. And I tell him, I say, baby, I'm going to fight through it with you. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to love the hell out of you because I didn't have that growing up. My parents didn't tell us all the time they loved us. They didn't sit there and give us that safe space to where we could come and talk to them. I try to give my kids a safe space to where they can cry, tell me anything they want to. So I tell Shalom, when he going through this, I said, I'm not leaving you because that's all I know. My parents, and it's from what they grew up. I'm not downplaying them or anything. Joe, I'm not downplaying any of the way that, they were parenting us, but I learned from them of some things of what not to do. And they were young themselves. Wait, go ahead. Go, Joe. They were young themselves in parenting, so they didn't know. Um, they didn't know themselves of how to parent. By the time my mom was 19, I was her fourth child. So she grew up with us. We didn't have the best relationship, but I made up in my mind that I wanted to have the best relationship as possible with both my kids, just kids in general. So they indeed, even till this day, I can call them and talk to them no matter what. Where you going? There you go. No matter what, I could call them. They're like literally just phone call away. Amanda is way up in the snow, but I know that if I need her, even though she have kids, I just say 911. She's gonna send in a prayer, no matter what. It may be 5 pages long, but she's gonna send a prayer in. Um, so those are the ladies. Miss Pat, I've been knowing her since Shalom was 2 years old, 1.5, 2 years old, and they have been there nonstop. I can call them as well all time of night. No, any of them I can call all time of night, and they have helped me, tutored me, nurtured me into parenthood in a positive way.
What is your name?
I'm Derek Gallion Sr., pastor of New Beginnings Church here in the city of Westlake, Louisiana. This is my beautiful wife, Cassie Gallion, and we are what we would describe as the surrogate parents of Waltresa.
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 Oh, Waltresa.
So how did y'all both meet Waltresa, whatever?
I'll go first. I really don't know when we met. I can always remember seeing her at church, and she had Shalom, and he was always active in different things, and she was, financially preparing for him, and it was either selling pies or he's getting ready to go somewhere if anybody would like to donate, and that's just how our relationship began.
And our connection as far as that is, again, seeing her at church on the drums, but just knowing her from a distance.
Right.
It was, I guess you can say, a natural meshing for us to be able to come into one confined relationship as family.
What made you take her and her boys under y'all wings as your own?
Well, we are lovers of people, first of all. And Waltresa is not the first adult child that we've brought into our lives. And so God has always allowed us to be able to nurture those that may not have received the nurture or had some point, some facet of their growing up that there was something missing. And so it was a blessing for us to make this connection. And so taking them as our own was something that we didn't feel that was
Out of the ordinary
or design. It was
it's just
natural.
what we do.
And like I said, and they have the same, I guess you can say, love, that our biological children receive.
Chastisement.
And the whole gambit of
Right.
relationship. And so it's been a blessing because she was able to receive not only parents, but, brothers, other brothers, along, she has her biological siblings, but she also has, other
Extended,
siblings.
yeah.
She has, our two biologicals and then our other two boys, that we have we call surrogate or adopt, in our hearts and in love, adoption of love. How about that? So that's where that's been. And then, as far as the boys are concerned, the grandkids, it's a love that cannot be broken. And when
Right.
a relationship, I've heard people talk about grandkids and how the love is different. And that is absolutely the truth.
That is the truth, because you are definitely different. It impresses me with the boys because, it's different. It is different, and it is a love that that you don't find when you birth your children. So and I wore my Gigi shirt today. I just put it on, but they made me a Gigi and they made him a Pop. So we take them just as if they are our blood grandchildren. We don't distinguish from anybody else. We don't distinguish with her from anybody else. I'm just like I am with her as I am with my other daughter and with my other sons. So this is just what we do. This is how we've been designed, and we really can't just explain why we do it. It's just the path that we're on, and that's just what we do.
How does it feel to be a Gigi and a Pop? No.
Well, I love being a grandfather because I don't have, again, like I said, blood children, but they're mine. And then anytime that I'm somewhere with them, that's how they're presented. That's my grandkids. And, it's, like I said, I'm happy to be a pop. I don't, it doesn't feel like it makes me feel old, but it makes me feel like, I'm responsible. I have a love for those boys, and like I would see any other child, as far as them growing up and holding on to legacy. And the legacy is not based on our biological, but our legacy is based on the relationship that I've shared with their mom, and their futures are tied to me. And so I want them to feel like they're loved and like I always have somebody in their corner. It's something that they should feel and should want to feel and should have. And it's a joy to make that happen.
He took the words right out of my mouth. I enjoy both of the boys. One is attached a little more to my husband. The other one is attached a little more to me. But I know that as he grows up, then he'll be more attached to him. And I'm okay with that, because then my little steps with him will be something else. But I will always be there to cheer for them. I just love them very much. That's it.
So, Gigi, what's the best part about being a Gigi?
Being called Gigi. That's the best part. Because when I first met y'all, I think y'all were calling me maybe Lady Cassie or First Lady. And I was like, I can't be. We too close to, this is going to have to stop. And so I came up with the name Gigi. And so, it means a lot when I'm called Gigi. I enjoy being I enjoy being called Gigi. Even if for some people that call me Gigi every 2 seconds, I don't mind being called Gigi.
Okay. What's the best part about being a mom?
The best part about being a mom is just loving y'all and having somebody to love me back.
Yeah. Okay. What's the best part about being a pop?
As kids say, being called Papa, knowing that someone thinks enough of you to love you as their grandparent, and know that it's real, know that it's not a put on, and that person can trust you, you know. And I love being able to, if it would be a right description, to show you off. Those are my grandboys. That's my grandsons. That's my daughter. It's not that's one of the young ladies at the church. She's far past just a member at the church. She's family.
Right.
Your family. He's family. And, people say blood is thicker than water, but some things go beyond blood. That's a joy for me to have, extra children. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's others that's asking to be, but that has to be something that God has to do.
Right.
We're thankful.
Right.
And also, if y'all had to compare all y'all, what would be the most similar thing, like, about y'all?
With me and Waltresa, stubbornness. We're both stubborn and headstrong. So that, sometimes that keeps us at ground zero. Mm-hmm. But then also our giving heart. We both like to give. And so that's two similar things about us.
Okay.
And for us, we're both athletic people. We love to compete, and we enjoy laughing. Because I can be silly, or I am silly, one of the two. Both. And she's definitely a chuckle buddy as well. So
they said it. So, Waltresa, having as for the first fellowship that you actually had with Miss Gigi and Mr. Pop Pop, how was that experience for you, leading up to now?
I think like they said that we did meet at church, and it would be like fellowships and the selling of the sweet potato pies. But I think when we first came close was when I was pregnant with Josiah. Asking my brother Derek and his wife at the time to be the godparents. I think that's when we really, really started a tight knit. But like Mama Cassie said, she was always there, when we did pies or anything to support Shalom. She's like, hey, we're there. And then after I had, or in the meantime of having him, with Josiah, she was there, providing, and I think she bought the baby bed or something. So, but either way it goes, she just, it's they just being and it led up to being on the phone.
Okay, so for how many years have you guys known each other?
Known of each other? Shalom is 11, so probably 10, 11 years. Mm-hmm. But known each other where we are now, I would say 3.5, 4 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 3.5, 4 years, to where we are now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Josiah sealed the deal.
But I started the deal.
You started the deal. That's right, baby. You started the deal and Joe sealed the deal. You absolutely right. Because every time I look on a Facebook memory, I see a little bitty boy with some suspenders on that was in my memory. So it started way back when he was younger than Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, because of my wife's relationship, the connection, that brought her into, because we're one. And so when she loves on somebody, I love on somebody. And it was almost seamless, even to
Right.
the fact that, when people see her with us and I tell them that that's my daughter, there's no question that, they may question and say, yeah, I know you had one child, but I know you're a child that old. But then I don't have to explain to no one if that's my child or not. And that's no disrespect to no one. That was no disrespect to, her parents, her mother, her father.
Right.
None of those things. And to be able to share love, that's what we're put here for. And so, and she knows she's loved, even though sometimes she wonders why she's loved. But she's loved.
Right.
And that's no doubt.
And our position is not to take anybody's place, because we understand that she have parents, and that is not our position at all. We're just trying to get in where we fit in, and we're just trying to be what she needs us to be for her and her kids. And that's it. So.
Okay, so let's talk about mom and pop. So since you've met them, of course, they've seen your life in all kind of ways, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and downs. But let's talk about how they have made a positive impact on your life.
Like you said, they've seen the ups and downs, good and bad. They know stuff about, like, they've heard rumors about me prior to them meeting me, what people say I was that I really wasn't. It's like they looked beyond that and saw me for me. They got to know me for me. It's not too often that you see people look beyond what others say, like what the rumors are, and love you for you. And that's one thing that they did do. They just love me for me. And the thing I do like about them is that, my mom was alive. Even with my father, they still respect that the fact, hey, I do have biological parents, like they said. And the fact that they respect that, and still, like, it's like they wasn't trying to take the place of my biological parents. But I still had a hole in my heart, and not to say anything against my biological parents, but, they were young when they had me. By the age of 19, they had 4 kids. So it's like we grew up with them. And it's just some things that I looked from my biological father that he didn't give, as well as my biological mother that wasn't given to me. But they definitely love me unconditionally. They still love me unconditionally. It's times I've pushed them away and they're still there. They showed me what real love is from a mother and a father. And to love my boys says a lot. They love my boys. Like they said, you can't tell them that I'm not their biological daughter, that my boys aren't their biological grandkids. You can't tell them that that's not who we are to them. And the fact that they spend time with my kids. And it's times to where I would get sad because my biological parents miss out with spending time with my boys. And I would get sad because I'm like, man, I wish my biological parents would do this. But they have actually filled that void in my life and in my boy's life. And they actually got the feeling of what it is to have grandparents to be in their life. And I say that because, Shalom had first day of school last year and I couldn't make it. And one thing Shalom said was, Mom, it felt weird. And I said, why it felt weird? He was like, to have both of my grandparents show up for me and involved in my life, he's never had that. And it did something to my heart because I'm like, wow, he's never had that. But God is so good and so faithful. And he not only gave me the desires of my heart, but he also gave my son Shalom the desires of his heart to have grandparents to show him grandparent love and spoil him and love him. And it was hard for all of us to accept, like, wow, we actually have people in our family. I mean, people that's not family accept us. He knew his aunties love him. My son knew that. I knew that my sisters loved my boys. But that wasn't a void that he had, that I had. The void that we both had and Shalom had was that mother and father love and grandparent love. And that's something that they exhibit, that they showed, and that they'll continue to show.
All right. So when you brought home the first baby, how was it like for you?
After bringing home Shalom and going through all that I went through with him, gone for 3.5 months, it was exciting, scary, and happy moments all at the same time. Happy because I went through, I feel like, one of the hardest parts of my life. And I succeeded it and I overcame it despite the odds of people and what they were saying and everything. I was happy because I overcame it. I won it. I accomplished it. Scared because being a first time mom, thinking that I was going to lose him again. And like I said, just excited of the fact that he was home.
Mm-hmm. And after him being home, like, what would you say was the hardest part as for being a brand new mom? Not only that, but a single mother as well.
Providing for him, I was kind of scared as far as like, how would I provide for my child? Yes, before that, I had my own place. I was working, had my own vehicle, but caring for another human, being responsible for him financially, making sure that I was mentally okay and that we not revisit. I think that was one of the difficult things, and it was a daily battle mentally, like to make sure that I was mentally okay every day and make sure I didn't hurt him or myself, because it was a battle. And most people don't talk about it, but that's what it was.
You say mentally, exactly what is it that you're talking about? Like, as for health wise.
Um, when I say mentally, like I was dealing with depression, postpartum depression. So dealing with my own mental health depressions and then postpartum depressions, it was an extra battle for me. I took medicine and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, just making sure that I was mentally okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So, in order to get them back, what did you have to do?
In order to get Shalom back, I had to do a lot of visits. Well, we went to court. we had a court process that we went to, um, and during that court process, that was also hard as well to do. In between that, I had weekly visits. We would meet at the mall. Well, I think our first visit was at child the Child Protective Service office. That was like my first visit, and then after that, we would meet in the mall, and it was only for like 45 minutes to an hour. It was it was very challenging at first to go there, go to the mall, and not leave without my child. What, baby? What you eating? Candy? Good job. So it was definitely a challenge going there, knowing I'm going to see Shalom, and each time that I would leave, I would cry because I'm like, I want him to come home, but I wasn't quite ready for him. But I knew that was my baby. And then it got easier. I learned how to feed him. I learned, because it's like I really didn't know my child. So I learned how to feed him, know how much he ate. He had stomach issues. I knew I was learning how to hold him to where he didn't have any pain. Um, After that, I got to the point to where the family he was with, um, she she offered me to come to church with her. That way I could spend more time with Shalom. And mind you, I was a drummer at the church that I was going to. And I can remember a lady came to me and told me that she didn't think it was wise that I skipped my own church to go and try to fight to get my son back. And that it hurted me because of like, I'm like, man, you making me choose between church and my son. And it still bothers me till this day, but I'm just glad that I made the decision to skip my own church service and fight for my family, for my son. And it was like a month straight, month and a half, I would do that or something like that. But it was just like the fact that you trying to make me choose who you trying to make me choose between the church and my son. And it like I say, it still bothers me and it hurt me. But I'm glad that I chose what I chose, because normally in the state, being in foster care, it takes a year or more for you to get your kid back. Shalom came back home in 3 months, and within 5 or 6 months, he was signed completely over to me. And that was one of the fastest cases, from my understanding, that has ever been completed. So because I knew the importance of things, my priority, it was hard, because it was like, man. And then, it was another person who didn't want me to have my baby back. So the crazy part is, these two people would come with me to visitations, come to me to and from court and everything. And knowing that they didn't want me to have my kid back, and actually told my worker that, it was just like, wow. At that point, I knew I had to refocus my attention, because hearing that at the time, and the negative things that this individual would report back to my worker, I found out was just all negativity, like no matter what I did. So at that point, I did have to kind of distance myself and say, hey, Waltresa, pull it together, get your stuff together, and get your son back. So those was the stages I went through: court, visitation, and then by Easter of 2014, Shalom was home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And after having full custody again, like how was that? Like, like just saying like, okay, I finally have my son home. How was that experience? How, can you explain exactly what you felt at that moment?
I felt like I won $1 million because of the odds that was against me. Those people who I thought were for me was actually against me, and it was blood relative was one of them. And it was just like, man, like you telling me one thing, but then you're calling my social worker saying all this all kind of other stuff. It was just like, so regardless of the odds that were stacked against me, I had to gain focus of at that time who was in my support system and accept it. Because at first I didn't accept it. Not gonna lie, I did not accept the help because I had been let down so many times by these individuals. So it was definitely a struggle of that. And it's like once I got home, those individuals were still in my life. But I still was trying to do it independently because independency is what I knew, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So having him come home, it was exciting. Of course, I was eager to get back to work. I was even doing 2 jobs just to make sure that he had. So I was excited. Like I say, I felt like I won the lottery against all the odds, the negativity that was being said. Um, I felt great that I got my son back, regardless of all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now that you had him back in your custody, what were some of the things that you had to adjust to?
Sleep. Had to adjust to sleep. Um, I had to adjust to sleep. Sleep, I mean, he slept at night. Shalom was actually a good kid. He would literally wake up only to eat. He'll sleep. Every morning when he did wake up, it was a smile on his face. So, and then I had to adjust to taking a bath. I had to bathe whenever he was asleep when I knew he was sound asleep. Sometimes I went to bed without a bath because he was either up or I would be nervous to leave him by himself or just be too tired of even going to the bathroom. I had to adjust to bathroom time, like just being real, that's I never was a mother, so if I felt like if I left him for 2 seconds, anything could possibly happen. So basically, and then also, have to find a sitter and somebody who watch him while I'm at work and going to work, missing my kid. Like that's things I had to adjust to.
Mm-hmm. So now that you had your first pregnancy and you found out that you're pregnant 8 years later, let's talk about it. How did you feel about your second pregnancy?
Okay. So, after finding out pregnant with my second child was definitely scary because of what I went through with my first. I had all kind of emotions. I even called Sister Grace. I was like, "Hey, Sister Grace, I'm scared. I'm pregnant again. I don't want to go through what I went through before." And she was like, "Hey, you got this. You know what to expect. Like, don't be scared. You got this." I called Miss Lizetta and I told her like, "Hey, I'm pregnant again. I'm scared." Like that, having that positive reinforcement in my life um, helped me better deal with it. But it was definitely scary to know that here it is, I'm pregnant again, and I went through what I went through with my first child.
Mm-hmm. And how was your second pregnancy? Like, like any body changes, like as for morning sickness or cravings, anything different from the first?
I thought I was gonna have a girl for one because the first part of my pregnancy, like the first trimester, like with Shalom, I threw up the whole time. From the time I found out until I had him, I threw up. With the second one, I like my first trimester, I threw up, and then it's like I stopped throwing up, and then once I found out I had a boy, it's like I got sick all over again. Not in a bad way, but you know. Um, it was definitely emotionally challenging as well because um the father, Josiah's father, we went through a lot. I was actually engaged to him, and um, that was a very hard time of my life as well because, I went through the first heartbreak at 35. The things that he brought me through and trying to protect my peace, and it was just crazy. So I had to distance myself, and knowing that 35 is considered now a high risk pregnancy, I had to protect my peace. I had to protect my pregnancy because I had a lot of um, issues while I was pregnant with Josiah. I stayed in the hospital a lot. So it was definitely, during the pregnancy was definitely harder because of what his father and I went through. Um, yeah.
All right. So mentally, how did you prepare yourself? To make sure that you didn't go through the same thing as you did with the first pregnancy.
I prayed.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed definitely for God to prepare me to keep my mind. I blocked out a lot of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I realized who was there for me, who wasn't there for me. Those who cheered me on and encouraged me, um, and those who knew what happened with Josiah, I kept them with Shalom, I kept them in my corner to be like, hey, Waltresa, you got it. Like, you good. And so, with all of that and just being prayerful of, Lord, prepare me. Lord, keep my mind. Lord, help me to not repeat what had happened before. As a matter of fact, I found out that it was actually a generational curse. And I say that because my mom, my biological mom, she actually told me that she had one of my brothers taken away from her for a whole year, but he went and stayed with my dad's family for like a whole year. So at that point, I had to realize, like, man, that's a generational curse that has to be broken. Started with me. Yes, I did, have Shalom taken away the first time, but I was like, nope, not doing it again. So I also looked at, like, that's a generational curse that needs to be broken. So I kept that in mind. I was just like, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen again. Waltresa, you got this. I cheered myself on when I couldn't reach anybody else to cheer me on. So yeah, that's how I was able to get myself through it. Yeah.
My name is Patricia Bettis, and I met Waltresa Collins in 2014 at Zion Tabernacle Baptist Church, where she was playing the drums. So the way that we met was, to my recollection, I was sitting down in the sanctuary, and she came and sat on side of me and just began to talk to me. Mm-hmm. Just began to share who she was and some things that she was going through in her life. Mm-hmm. And so that's how it all started. And of course I was thinking, okay, Lord, what is going on? Mm-hmm. And so after that, she met my husband, Paul, and we just was involved in her life. She allowed us to be involved in her life. Mm-hmm. So, and we still are to this day.
Right. So, like you said, the first encounter that you guys had was basically a lady out of nowhere.
A lady out of nowhere. A lady out of nowhere. I was wondering when she was talking to me, why me? Why would she choose me? Mm-hmm. And I think if I remember, she just, for some reason, felt like she could trust me. Mm-hmm. And so that's the foundation of our relationship. And to this day, mm-hmm. that trust has grown very, very strong. Mm-hmm. And, there were times when she didn't like me very much because she wasn't used to being told the truth. I didn't know how to process that or receive that. And so she would go away and I would let her go away, have her time, and she would come back just like nothing was wrong. And there would be times I called her on a lot of things in her life, you know. And because I realized she just was lacking something. And so we had a lot of conversation, a lot of long nights, a lot of crying, a lot of her pouring out her heart, and me trying to get her to a place where she loved herself. Mm-hmm. So I remember I asked her, "Do you love Waltresa?" She was like, "Nobody's ever asked me that." Mm-hmm. So she couldn't really answer the question. So we began to talk about, you know, she has the right to love herself, because really you can't give out love if you don't love yourself. Mm-hmm. And so we talked about that, and we talked about just about everything. We talked about a lot of things. I don't know if I know everything, but I found out some other things later as we began to continue to share, you know, as she shared with me. But I think I made it very clear to her that our relationship may have started out one way where she was depending on me a lot, but I wanted her to make sure and let her know that I wasn't a perfect person. And it had to be a two-way communication. It just wasn't one way. If she had an issue with me, she could tell me what that was. We could talk about it, you know, and vice versa. So that's how we got to where we are today. And so I love her. I call her Big Kid, but I love her. I love her a lot. I love the boys, especially Shalom. Not especially Shalom, but I got to fall in love with Josiah over time. So that's how it all started. I don't know how much you want to share, so.
And for Waltresa, as for you approaching, what was it about her that made you, you know, want to take that step?
I think first of all, like you said, when I got to Zion, I was just gonna play the drums. I wouldn't really speak, or it's like as soon as I was done, yeah, have a good day, good night, bye. Get Shalom and go. And then her daughter Grace started playing with Shalom, like watching Shalom more. And so one day they were all just sitting after rehearsal, I think it was, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit. And I think it was the way just even like just speaking. Even when, I don't even know if she knew I wanted to speak or not. Like, I don't know if she picked that up or what, but it was just always like, she'd come speak to me, hey, how you doing? And then I just was like, okay, I'm gonna sit around and hang around, like, and it just kind of grew from there. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of skeptical with it at first, but it's the way that she never judged me. Like, what I had to say, how I felt about myself. It was just never a judgment thing. Mm-hmm. It was more so like she understood, but also corrected me in love. Mm-hmm. You know, at that time I'm like, what? But it was in love. A lot of things to where I didn't want to face was needed to be faced with myself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, oh, you did this to me, you did this to me. It was more so with me. And I learned it had to start with me. Mm-hmm. And once I learned it had to start with me and deal with me, it helped me to deal better with other people and understand a little more. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just kind of change things around. Mm-hmm. As to like, okay, more so like, Lord, help me to deal with that person. I'll never forget she told me. She was like, if they're not going to change, you ask the Lord to help you to deal with them if you're going to be around them. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of one of the things I use to this day. Like, okay, if this person is in my life, we're not going anywhere, help me, change me, and help me deal with them and accept them for who they are. Mm-hmm. So that is more.
And I think I challenged her on a lot of things that she wasn't used to being challenged on. You know, if she was going through something, I would say, so what do you think we should do? I just didn't give her the answers, you know, so we would talk it through. And I would say, well, think about it this way. What do you think about this? Try this, you know, do it this way and see what the outcome is. So I just didn't sit and say, no, do it this, that, no. What do you think you should do? How do you think you should handle it? Do you think this person deserves to be in your life? Do you think this person deserves to have your energy? when they're not giving you, it's not being reciprocated, you're not getting that back, you're getting something negative back. Do you think you deserve that? You know, and I would say you don't deserve that. Mm-hmm. You know, you have the right to choose who you want to be in your life and who you don't. You have the right to choose that. If you love Waltresa, then those things that don't benefit Waltresa, those are Waltresa. And she had to learn how to do that, and it was hard for her. Because I think she was just so used to making sure people knew who she was. Mm-hmm. With all the things that she would do for people. You know, she felt like they never saw her. I never accepted her, you know, for who she was. They always did that, took that and did something negative, and she received something negative in return. Mm-hmm. And so it was work for her. And I said, listen, the best way to get through it is to go through it. You're going to be better for it on the other side. I know you can't see it now because you're in pain, you're hurting, you know, you're feeling rejected, whatever you're feeling, but that's okay. It's going to be so much better on the other side if you go through it. A lot of it.
Yeah, and she helped me to, even now to this day, like she helped me to value that I don't have to take other people's mess. Yeah. Like, I used to be like, more like, hey, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault. Or just be their trash can, their dumpster, and not look at like, wow, technically it's not my fault. So I went through that phase, and now I know, like, you're not about to put that on me. I'm not going to take responsibilities for your action. Mm-hmm. And so I honestly say that's one area I'm very strong in, to where, and another thing I look at is, like, I rethink the whole conversation. Like, at the end of the day, and I look at what I went wrong. And I'm like, and if I'm not sure, I still call it to this day. I'm like, hey, Miss Pat, this is what happened. What did I do wrong, or what can I do differently to handle this? And of course, she'll let me know, right or wrong, right, you know. And again, we'll have the solution of how to do it. And I tried. Like, I take it in. I honestly say I take in everything she said. It wasn't easy. Like you say, sometimes I'll go block her, like, just.
You'll block me, all of that.
Yeah. But.
Won't return my text, none of that. I'm like, okay, I see.
But, now mind you, if it's something that really needs to be talked about, mm-hmm. we will talk about it. Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay, we need to talk about this, like, what happened? Mm-hmm. And even though I didn't want to, but it bettered me in the thing. Mm-hmm. And they heard and both missed the call. They're like, okay, yeah, you know, we're still here.
You know, her thing was, I would say, are you okay? I'm good. And so I learned that was just a buzzword for her not to talk about whatever it was, you know, that she really was dealing with. And so I learned how to somehow navigate my way around that. I would say, okay, so tell me what's really going on, because you're not okay. You're really not okay. And so I would always tell her how good of a mother she was and how good of a person she was, because I see it. Not just from you saying it or you trying to convince me this is who you are. I have seen you, you know, go the extra, more than the extra mile, you know, for your child, for yourself, you know. And so it was just, for me, it was just about building her up so that she could get to where she is today, you know, so that she could get to a place where she wasn't always depending on me. And I would always point her to God, because He is the person who could really get her through. I was just there to just kind of help navigate her to Him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what it is. And I am very proud of her as a person. Her ability to find a way to make it when everything seems to be against her. You know, she just has, you know, that fortitude to think of, and very creative, to do what she needs to do to take care of herself and her families. Mm-hmm. I'm very proud of that because of kind of knowing her journey before, you know, where she came, what she came out of, what she came from, all of that. And none of us have a perfect upbringing. We all have issues from our upbringing. And so I think the issues that I went through with my family just help prepare me to help her go through her journey. And so, yeah, it's been a beautiful thing. I praise God for her and the boys all the time. They're very loving. So.
All right. My name is Paul Bettis. I'm Pat's husband.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Waltresa. Well, okay. Been knowing it for some time. They say 10 years. I'll put it like this here. However long my wife knew her, have known her, I have too, because her reputation preceded her. So I knew something about her before I actually met her physically. Okay? And, really, Pat and I both, when we talk about Waltresa, we talk about how proud of her that we are. Okay? Because, I kind of came in on this late, but, Waltresa, she cool, but she ain't know it.
I love it.
She didn't know it.
She didn't know it.
Really, she was her own self-worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was some dark places that she tried to go.
Oh, yeah.
And really, basically I was trying to pull her out of it, but I challenged her. You can go there and come on back. What you gonna do? Now if she would have chose to go there, she was gonna have to take me with her. Okay? Okay? Because I was not gonna let her stay there. Okay, because she's valuable.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think she finally come around and realize that it's really okay to be late.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to be who others wanted her to be. Okay? Now, of course, Pat know her a lot better than I do. I still know you, man. Yeah. Don't let that slip. Okay? But and when I look at the boys, Shalom, he challenged you. But that's what kids do. Okay? Now, Josiah, in which they call him Joe, and he's around me, I call him Simon. Okay? For whatever reason, but I see her in both of her kids, and as they grow, I know I'm going to see more of her in them. Okay? But I'm also going to see the other family, we call mom and pop. Okay, I'm going to see them in them also. But the thing, she done come a long way.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? I mean, she done come a long way, because there have been times when, she would leave here and I'm scared for her. Because of some of the things that came out of her mouth. And it's like a lot of praying, but she wanted to be that island. But I'm glad she let us build a bridge to her. Because now we can walk freely back and forth. To the point, really, why I say where the bridge is, actually dirt doesn't connect it. Okay, because the bridge can fall, tumble, in that separation. I really don't see separation. I don't. Ever. I mean, because really, as far as we're concerned, she's family. I mean, in Shalom's early years, I mean, you went go to sleep. Just come in, she at home. And that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned, because, first starting out, but it's a testament to God himself, because of how he orchestrated his thing called trust between us. Because, she had to get out of her feelings. Okay? And which, I tell people now, as far as my journey, my walk with Christ goes, I'm trying my best to be comfortable in my uncomfortableness, if that makes sense to you. Okay? Even when I'm uncomfortable, I'm comfortable in him. You know, so therefore, you know, with this walk, you know, is we say the straight and narrow, but is it really when we all holding hands, headed to the same place? We don't have to walk like Mama Duck with baby ducks single file behind us. You know, we can walk like this here because the goal is to end up at the same location. So therefore, you know, we're walking like this, not okay. So she good. She's starting to come around. You know, she you know, and I'm not gonna use that term full circle. Okay, because 360 means you go back to where you, okay? So we talking 180 from the time we started with Waltresa to where we are now. She ain't nowhere near where she's at. You know that term repent, turn and walk away? I think she's done that to where she used to be. Questions?
And at what point did you realize that she was cool?
But really, I knew she was all right from the jump street because conversations would do this. So I knew that, I knew she had some, I really don't want to use the term street smarts. Okay, but I knew she had some street smarts, okay? She just really didn't know what to do with it. You know, because she would take them street smarts and get it clobbering. You know, but what I call okay. you know, who's gonna be watching this?
Everybody.
You know, so she didn't learn how to do this here with that kind of stuff. You know, she didn't learn how to get that stuff out the way and just move through it and come out a much better person because that woe is me ain't there no more. You know, but one of the best things that I think she done was accept people for who they are.
Allow people in.
Okay? Because it's I'm pretty sure there were times you was wondering, what's going on out of this? What they gonna get out of this? What? Well, not so much as what, but why? Why?
Well, I would always ask Miss Pat, like, y'all still around? Like, why you still here? Because with the way that I was shut them out and shut down, so many times people would have ran, and they have done that. Like, they too, where they're like, okay, we tired of this, like,
but she tripping again, and we know.
Yes, he was.
She's tripping again, and you know, and it's good, you know, she come back around, and you know, and all's well, because you know, when that would transpire, and she come back, she realized she come back the same love.
Yeah.
It ain't changed other than maybe grow.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, we ain't through with tripping because as long as we're above ground, our circumstances, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? But you see what I think we're all getting to a point of we're not letting our circumstances define who we are. Okay, because sometimes we have control of our circumstances, but a lot of times we don't. But what we do have control of is how we respond to our circumstances. Okay? And I don't know, I think I told you this one time, because I tell Grace all the time, you think of this, not of this. Okay, because things happen. Feel it here. Okay, but even though you're feeling it here, you still processing it here. Okay, and the thing, you know, we living in a society, living in a world that's not perfect. Okay, there's good, there's evil. So therefore, what's the battlefield? Your mind. So we have to keep our mind intact because we have to be real careful of who and what we allow to influence us. See, that's where we got to be real careful with, because, you know, it's like my dad used to say, you know, all white folks ain't bad, but all black folks don't do it. So when it comes down to people, if this is all you see, is what you see with this, you must have whole picture. You missing the big picture. So I'm glad that really she is allowing us to be in her life and the boy's life. Because kids come over here. They're at the crib. You know?
And Joe walk around like he was born up in here. He just walk all over the place, all the lights off, and he don't care. Really at home.
Tell you to move, and I'm like,
like, it's what it is.
But they realize, family is meant to be family. Okay? You know, whether it's blood or whatever. It's an extension. It's an extension. You know, because, you know, if we miss the big picture, we miss the whole thing. You know?
And what I like about Mr. Paul is that I can call him, talk to him, stuff that I wish that I could talk to my biological father about. I can't. I can talk to him, and he tell the God honest truth, and then he make it into a comedy afterwards. Like I can come to him boo and crying, and he'll tell me what I got, what he. Not what I want to hear, but what is meant to be told. And then we end up just laughing loud. And he's actually literally a phone call away. Like, I can call him and what's called this is going about. And he'll tell me, and it's a comedy. Even if we go months without talking, we just pick up where we left off from, and just go from there. So I love that. And even when I have issues with Shalom, he'll bring them to me. Bring Shalom to me. And he'll just, he don't yell at her, he talk to her. And like he's there. He's available. And even if he's not, he's gonna make himself available. And that's what I love about the family, period. Just loving us.
That's what we do.
Earlier, you told them what God told you. And you said something up here. You said, I'm not a person who stands behind the mic.
Thank you, Lord.
But I want to tell you, can I minister to you? Can you come in for a second?
Thank you, Lord.
I want you to lift your hands because you're not always going to be behind the drums. And you got to get comfortable with saying what you hear. And sometimes he's going to have you speak in unusual places. I need a lady's hands. I wish my wife was here. Come here, First Lady. I want you to touch her heart. It is out of your pain that you minister. It is out of your pain that you minister. And call. Break up all of the fallow ground. Receive it. Just breathe it in, sweetheart. That is the presence of God that is upon you now. And I say to you, woman of God, speak. 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 I pray God would raise you up as a voice to cry loud and spare not. Speak. Speak till you feel the healing come in your own body. Speak, I say, till the glory of God sits on your head. I shine. Lord, I want her to hear me. I want her to hear me. I don't want to get excited behind the music. I want you to hear this. Now that, what's this place in your room that you go to? I see a place that you go to in your room. And this place, you get in your head and you replay things in your head. And now I am sent from God to tell you, perfect love can't stop fear. You do not have to be afraid of what God promised. Don't be afraid of it. Just because you don't look like everybody, act like everybody. It's the anointing that destroys the yoke. Somebody touch her inner belly for me. I need some hands. Yes. Accept it. Come on. I'm gonna tarry with you for a few moments. Accept it. Accept that you're anointed. Accept that you're gifted. Accept that you're blessed. Accept that you're called. Accept that God's hand is on his life. Accept it. Accept it. Don't fight the fact that God called you. Don't fight it. Accept